Here we are going to learn SketchUp for web. SketchUp for web is a 3D modeling software that works within your browser. And you can see here there's a ton of examples of what it's capable of doing. In this video lesson, this is the first time I'm actually firing it up and playing with it. So the lesson and work that you turn in will be whatever I make on my screen, and you screenshot it and send it to me. So on Google, search SketchUp for web and click on SketchUp for web. It's going to ask you to accept the cookies, so accept the cookies. And there should be a button that says Start Modeling, so click Start Modeling. Okay, it's going to ask you to sign in, so we're just going to use the Sign In with Google option. Choose your account. You might have to go through a registration process, I'm not sure, but hopefully it just does exactly what it's doing on my screen for you. It brings us to a menu where we see our account, 3D warehouse, create new, open, etc. So let's click on Start Modeling. You're going to see tools on the left, tools on the right, and some person in the middle of the screen. And that's just so that you can get a scale of a reference for the scale of what you're working with. Let's move our mouse to the tools. So we have the select, erase, paint, line tool, arc, rectangle, extrude, which they call push pull, outer shell, etc. Okay, so let's start with the rectangle tool. We click on that, click on just the regular rectangle, and you see a pencil with a rectangle. Okay, if you move it to the origin, it'll snap to it. Okay, so let's move our mouse over here. We're going to tap on the mouse pad once, and it's going to lock it into that corner. And we're just going to move it to the right and tap again, and you've created a rectangle. Okay, if I go to the push-pull button and press that, press the push-pull, see how the surface, when I have my mouse over it, changes to a texture? If I click, move my mouse up, I can create a block, essentially. Okay, now if I wanted to move around in the world here, click on Orbit, and let's do this one. So that's Orbit, so click on that. And this time I believe I click and hold. When I click and hold, I can spin it around. Just like that. Okay. Let's notice some things. Let's take note of what we're looking at here. So I have the orbit tool selected. In the bottom it says drag to orbit, shift equals pan, control equals suspend gravity. So if I hold down the shift key and click and drag, it pans. If I hold control and click and drag it, whoa, look at that. That's neat. Okay. What else can I do? I can use the tape measure and put dimensions on things. So if I click tape measure, click on dimension, and click from corner, and click this corner. Did it tell me anything? Nope, it didn't. I want to click on this one. Oh, there we go. The line turns blue when you click on it, and then you can drag it down or left, and you can put a dimension by clicking again. Okay, let's try something else. So if I click on rectangle and I move my mouse onto the face of the surface, I click and click, and I've created a rectangle on that surface. Now check this out. If I click push pull, click push, see how the surface changes? So it's a lot easier to see when it's white like that. So if I click on this surface and push my mouse in, I can basically put a hole in this this block, which is pretty neat. I believe I saw. Alright, so within the rectangle tool, we can make a rotated rectangle, we can make circles. So if I click on circle, and click on the top of the face and click again. Made a circle. I'm going to use orbit. I'm going to use orbit to click and drag so I can see that. I believe, yeah. Okay, so with 2 fingers on your trackpad, you can zoom in and out. Click on push pull again. Click on that surface and drag it to that face. Oh, interesting, it made it like a solid. I wonder if there's an undo button. Control Z should work. Yep, Control Z works. So Control Z is undo. And you can click and drag that up to make a cylinder. Okay. Let's see if I hold Shift. Nope. All right. Again, this is the first time I'm opening this. I've used SketchUp in the past as a desktop application, but this is the first time I'm using SketchUp for web, and it seems to be quite similar to what I remember. The tools have definitely been updated, which is great, and the interface, the user interface, these tools seem a lot cleaner looking. I don't know what this is on the right yet, but I will. I'm going to figure all this out, and we're going to have more lessons on SketchUp and how to use it. Okay, but for right now, this is what I want to see. I want you to take a screenshot of this and submit it for work for SketchUp getting started.